Same.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Nightmare Road. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Decon HIP. For those of you that don't know, it stands for Hotter in Person. And I am here with my co-host. Are you all right? Hey, Static, you okay?
Oh, I'm good. I've never heard that before. That was awesome.
I am here with my co-host, the Sideshow Freak, the Oracle. And introduce our wonderful guest.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
And fine, if you won't, I will do it. And our amazing, beautiful guest, my buddy here, Nate. What's up, brother?
I love you guys. Like that was like one of the best intros I've ever heard.
Dude, you've been busy.
Busy ain't the word for it, brother. Like I have been fucking all over the place. Excuse my language. I've been all over the place.
Yeah, dude, it looks like you've been running across the world like Forrest Gump.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I hate that movie. I hate that you use that reference.
Accurate. That's a terrible movie.
That movie is like, life is like a chocolate bar. Shut the hell up. That's even
like
worse.
A chocolate bar, yeah, you catch AIDS from it because you got the shit from Jenny.
Yeah, but, fucking idiot. We'll breed.
Sorry, that was horrible.
That was so
dude,
good.
No, dude, you've been busy, man. So
I have.
So tell us, man. Like, what do you got going on?
You know, I've got a lot going on, man. I was just featured on the cover with my girlfriend Morgan Caldwell on the Paranormal Underground magazine for the first issue of January.
You should make a calendar.
We had an awesome interview with them. It was great. We're looking at possibly in the future here soon. There's a possibility we're going to be on a television show, but I can't release anything about that yet. I'm just telling you that there's a possibility of that. It's in discussion. I've got right now 7 events booked for this year, plus my podcast every Wednesday. Like there's a lot going on. Like it's too much. It's honestly too much for me to handle, but I'm trying my best.
You got it.
Yeah, dude. And you got that book, man. Like I've been doing. You know what? I'm just gonna give a quick intro to that book real quick. And Nate's got that book.
Decon really wants to do the audio for it, the audio book, and read the whole thing.
Downloading the Paranormal Stargate Erotica with Nathan L. So you guys check that out.
That sounds like a low budget porn, brother.
Man, hey, I just read the script. I don't judge.
Are you reading a book talk? What are you doing?
No, they gave me the script. This is like, all right, this is what you're supposed to say. So
I have one of those books handy if you want to borrow it.
Yeah, no thanks. So today's episode is gonna be on Operation Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool? The what?
I think it's crazy.
Yeah, you know, it really just highlights how there was a time in our so how this whole thing started, right? Was they found out that sorry guys, I got puppies. They come on, man. I'm trying to record here. So they found out that the Russians were experimenting with people with abilities, right?
Yes.
And so then they're like, man, we cannot have these damn communists. And I agree, we cannot have these damn communists have psychic soldiers and like giving away all of our secrets. So what they started doing was they started putting ads, you know, and they weren't ads like hey, do you guys have psychic power? It was one of those like, have you, you know, and then if you do, you know, send a letter to this location. So they started getting letters. So then that's how they started getting, you know, people for this program. And what's interesting is that people that and right now they look at that whole thing and it's like, look, this is what this proves, the third eye, because they had, you know, 20 people and 2 of them, you know, did really well. Everybody else did shitty. They would ask certain questions and, you know, and it's like, see, look, there's no such thing, but they leave out the 2 people. They leave out the 2 people that got everything correct. This guy was one of them was a police officer. And what's crazy was that during the Cold War, this guy ended up doing a session and he let them know. He said, "Hey, I see a base in Alaska, and it's on this mountain. And when I look through, none of these, what I can see, right? What I can see is that none of these letters are in English." And they're like, "What do you mean? Like, which mountain?" And he lets them know, it looks like this, it looks like this, it looks like this. So then they immediately start mapping. They're like, "We know exactly what that is." So they go and they found out there was a Soviet like little facility just hidden in Alaska, you know. And
Well,
there's not much detail of what took place, but they did find a Soviet, a communist little base right there in Alaska, basically spying on the United States from this thing.
Russia's like right
within the
there.
United States.
Yeah, in the United
Isn't
States.
Russia like? Isn't Russia and Alaska like? Isn't
Yes,
it like 12 miles apart?
there's actually a spot in Alaska where if you climb to the top of a mountain, you can see Russia over the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see a bear drinking vodka, and he's like, "Hey, look over there! Hey, my American friend, you're over here just drinking vodka with Ivan Drago."
Perfect.
I
I'll
would
drink
love
vodka
to
with
see a
bear.
bear take a shot of vodka.
Like, "Oh, this is how we do it. Nothing
I would
like
do it.
your fucking grizzly bears. This is real bear." So anyway, so you get this kind of stuff, and then they like, "What do we call this? Let's call it remote viewing." So
Yes.
they ended up experimenting more and finding more people. And what they don't talk about is the fact that they're like, "We're gonna stop doing ads because a lot of people just want attention, right? So we need you to send out a signal and seeing who picks up." So this guy sat there in this room channeling, and he found like, "Okay, I see someone in Ohio, but I think his name is this and that." And then, and this is what's crazy, fucking gives coordinates. And then they were able to put those coordinates into an address, and they found this person. They're like, "Hey, have you ever, this and that?" And he goes, "Yeah." Says, "Can you come in and do a couple tests for us?" And they go, "Yeah." So then they started doing the experiment when they're like, "Okay, I want you to focus really hard. What's in the next room?" And the guy's like, "Okay, like, what do you mean?" It's like, "Okay, just stop and focus. And I want you to paint a picture and just let us know if you can see." And they're like, "Well, I think I see there's a guy, there's a desk, there's this thing on the wall, there's this." And then they went and they brought him in there, and it's exactly what he described. So
freaking cool though.
And it's crazy because this was something that the United States poured millions of dollars into.
Right.
And people nowadays, they ridicule it. They even made a movie about it, just talking shit.
Yeah, the Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yes, The Men Who Stare at Goats. They made a movie. It was a book, then they made a movie about it, and they ridiculed. And the book was more serious. The book was more like, this is what happened. But they didn't call it Operation Stargate. They couldn't. That wasn't declassified yet. So that's what it was called, The Men Who Stare at Goats. So then they made a movie about it, and the movie was ridiculous, right? It wasn't serious. It was kind of like tongue in cheek, and what's sad is that it caused people that were involved in this to kind of have like PTSD.
Yes,
because not only, and people think that when you have the ability to do like remote viewing, they think that you only see, a building. They don't talk about the atrocities that these people were able to see. And I'm going to ask you this, there's Static. It's almost like, and tell me if I'm kind of doing a shitty example. It's almost like you have an ultrasound and you put it through and you don't control like what's on the other side. You could just see what's there. And it's not just with a room, it could be with people, right?
Okay.
Like you're sending out this mass ultrasound and you're able to see people's dark thoughts. You're able to see people's past. You're able to see like traumas and things like that. And is that like when I say remote viewing or the third eye, is that kind of fit that category?
So I can tell you that for me, I've never had experience doing remote viewing. But what I can tell you from my research, that would sound about right. So the way that from the research that I have done, when people do remote viewing, it almost appears as though a black and white photograph, right? As similar as though bats flying through the air and they're getting the echolocation off of what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
The clicks that they're doing, they come back and it formulates a picture. And that is similar to what I have heard that remote viewing kind of shows you. There are people out there who do have a more, I guess you could say, adept viewing aspect, and they can see things in color. But yeah, I think that would be fairly accurate.
Yeah, and what's sad is that you started having people that were able to, they were really, I think they were better than what they expected. So what ended up happening was they had a group of people, once they were able to kind of get the science down, like this is how we do it, this is how, they were able to get people that were really good to the point where they were able to find, people that were fugitives. They were able to see, if these people had something in a car. They were able to see if these people had intentions of doing bad shit. So,
Wasn't there one that found hostages in Iran?
Yeah, this was in the 1980s, I believe, or 1979. Yeah. So
I watched like a 6-hour interview with him while working. I wish I could remember his name, but he was the first one to do remote viewing, I believe.
He was one of the graduates, of the first ever. And this is what's sketchy is that once the program was kind of canceled because they're kind of like, okay, we have no use. Those people that graduate those classes started disappearing.
Yes, that is true.
They started to go missing, and then and then some of the people that were involved, they're saying like, these people are not going missing. These people are being taken out because they can see, not just what these people are doing this for, but also what things that they've done. And we can't just let them out in public with these classified secrets.
Right.
I mean,
kind of funny, the timeline that they stopped doing it, in all honesty.
And it's kind of like where the conspiracy cover-up thing comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because they end the project in 1995. And so when the project ends in 1995, over the next 4 years, you have, I think it's like 55% of the people that participated in the project, they disappeared with no trace to be found.
Yeah, they're gone. Some of them, they purposely also recruited people without like any families. So when they disappeared, they were gone. There's no trace of who they were. Mm-hmm. And then that's what sucks. So then they actually brought back the project. They brought back the project in the 90s, but this time with a little bit more parameters. It's almost like they found, how do I even explain it? It's almost like they found a way, kind of like Superman, how he's able to see through shit. It's like, well, he can't see through lead, it's almost like they basically, what?
I said, it's basically the same thing almost.
Yeah, so a lot of these people realized that when they were going into, they made them wear like a special hat,
right?
And then they would walk through this place, and they sat in this weird colored room. And I wonder what it was that they had on, because this says that they almost felt like somebody plugged their ears, when this thing was placed on them. Like, here's a hat, boom, and then it's almost like it dulled their abilities, And as soon as the program, as soon as they were done for the day, and these were kids, by the way. As soon as the little courses were over and they would like release them, they would like take the hat off, and they said that it was almost like they could see in color again, so I wonder if they found a way to, kind of dull the senses, of these people.
I was thinking that same thing, considering the fact that you said as soon as they removed the hat, they could see in color again. Their senses, as far as hearing, would dull. It almost makes me feel like whether or not it was a sensory deprivation exercise.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, she talked about, and he actually said this one time in an interview. I paid no attention to it because it's like, he's like, well, when he was young, he went to like a special school. I just assumed that he was dyslexic.
Shock me.
And that's what I assumed. So then Candace Owens.
Sorry if I offended anyone with that comment.
So Candace Owens was talking about that when they were young, they were both involved in a program where they had them read books when they were closed. They had them
the GATE program.
Yeah, don't say it. So So they had them like talk about like the third eye and how you can do this, how you can, and she kept it quiet, she said, because well, they both kept it quiet because they said it was almost embarrassing because of the, they didn't want to be humiliated.
Right.
And then they started to have them like lay down, and then like, let's see if you can, see around you while you're laying down with your eyes closed. And that's astral projection,
Yes.
And they were training them how to astral project. So to me, when you look at all these things, it's like, fuck, man. Like, I know that we've talked in the past about how it seems like our culture has kind of lost the roots to mysticism and sorcery, but they kind of just put it underground,
They did.
It's hidden in plain sight.
Go ahead, Ash. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, you're good. I just said it's hidden in plain sight is basically what it is. People have these abilities, but a lot of people downplay them.
Do you think that's done on purpose? Like
I think it's absolutely on purpose.
Like if somebody, because you see that there's like some kids out there that are able to see stuff, but they're like afraid to say anything because they'll be laughed at. And I wonder how much of that is programmed, into the society just to keep these people from utilizing certain abilities. You know what I mean? Like if
I will say I agree with you on that. As far as when it comes to the kids things, they're basically told you can't say this because you're going to be ridiculed.
Yep.
And I love the fact that my son, I am the first person he calls. Dad, I experienced this. What do you think?
Oh shit!
My daughter.
He did his first paranormal investigation with me when he was 7 years old.
Yes.
How was that?
He lasted 15 minutes, which is longer than most people would have lasted.
Was it boredom? Was it like sensory overload? Like what's going on?
We were investigating with Adam Berry from Ghost Hunters and Kindred
Oh
Spirits.
shit!
And we were there for a public event. I know Adam Berry personally, so we were there for a public event. And my son wanted to go and do the investigation, and Adam chose him to hold the K2 meter.
That's pretty cool.
Now, he's done a few things here with me. Like sometimes he'll help me do my breakdown videos where he's the one pulling the fishing line that you can't see. So
I love that.
he's the one who kind of is in the background helping me do my debunking videos. And we were there at this public event, and Adam asked him to hold the K2 meter. And we're in the Newport Opera House downtown. Now, mind you, the Newport Opera House burnt down in 1923 and 1935. It also was the original jail from 1912 to 1927. So on top of being a courthouse, a jail, it's also an opera house. And opera houses, for some fucking reason, they contain this energy that I cannot explain.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of that has to do with the basically the art itself, because to sing opera, it's not just, you're not just shouting, you're projecting, and you kind of have to have a way for you to kind of vibrate your voice to the point where it carries a lot.
You have to have that vibrato. It's what they call it, vibrato.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there, and Jameson at 6 years old is holding the K2 meter, and Adam's asking questions for the group, and all of a sudden the I guess you could call it a grid. I don't personally like them, but like the string of lights is the K2 meter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tripwire.
The lasers that that they kind of like light up.
Yes, the K2 tripwire is what it's called. Yeah. So the tripwire started lighting up, and then I was watching the K2 meter in Jameson's hand started spiking up to red.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, if there's anything here, who do you want to communicate with? Could you please, because there was 5 different people holding meters in that room. I said, could you please spike up to red the person you want to communicate with? Every other person, their light stayed green, which is in the neutral zone, and Jameson started spiking up to red. And then he said his arm from his wrist to his shoulder started going cold.
Okay.
Oh.
And he said, Dad, I'm ready to leave.
Respect it.
And I said, okay, buddy, give me the K2 meter. I went back, I handed it to Adam and said, hey, brother, look, he's going through this. He's ready to be done. And Adam Berry told me to tell him, full respect because he's the youngest kid he has ever had join in on an investigation.
So,
Wow.
so what do you
That's so
think?
cool, though.
So, what do you think it is? Do you think that he has something? This is what I wonder. Okay, I wonder if it's a very specific type of person, or if every kid out there, has this ability to kind of see through the veil a little bit and do all those things. But as they grow up, they're learning to do other things, and then the thing that they don't utilize the most, it's kind of like ring rust, right? When you're a
Yes.
fighter and you don't fight in a long time, you start developing ring rust, and eventually those type of skills begin to kind of fade a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
so that's a great question. And how I would interpret it is like this. The younger you are, the less I guess you could say desensitized for what the public value is, right?
Yeah.
So
distractions and
when you're younger, you see everything for what it is. People who have abilities see it for more than what normal people do. But as you grow older, you become kind of desensitized to it. You're told there's no ghost, there's no monster in your closet, there's
Yep.
no this, there's no that. And so therefore, through, I guess you could say, conditioning,
yeah, it's
you kind
dude.
of
That's a
start
perfect way to put it.
you kind of start filtering that stuff out of your brain.
You do.
And I don't want my son to grow up like that. I want my son to know that there are monsters in the dark, and
Thank you.
they are there. It's all about how you handle the situation.
Mhm.
And he has become very adept. And I think, in Lou, to your question, the older you get depends on your upbringing as to whether or not you become desensitized to the things around you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and a lot of that, like you said earlier, it's conditioning. I mean, fuck. Like if you were to say something, imagine if a kid says that in school, like, "Oh, last night, I saw a lady go through the wall," or whatever it is. Someone tried to talk to me. The teachers be like, "Well, it's your imagination. You were probably, whatever." And then some kids may even tease them. So then when they start doing is very slowly the conditioning, right? Like this kind of stuff isn't
Yes.
real. There's something wrong with me. Eventually, it goes away, or I don't think it really goes away. It dulls to the point where you can ignore
It goes into a limbo kind of section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can be resurrected later on with an experience.
Mhm.
And I will say, luckily for me, with Jameson's sake, his teachers, they love what I do. I got invited to go and investigate the school last year, I think it was.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
unfortunately, the school board said I wasn't allowed in there for whatever reason. They didn't want to cause panic within the community.
Yeah.
But I'm like, look, all of my shit's confidential. Like, the principal
Yeah.
and vice principal want me to come in. Those are the only two people that are going to get the results.
Mhm.
But his teachers, so he's got a teacher, a student aid teacher, and then he's got his therapist in school, because he does do the therapy thing. And they all three of them bought a copy of my book.
Oh,
That's cool, dude.
awesome. See, when
And
my daughter had her experience, her teacher tried to tell her, "Oh, you were probably just dreaming, blah, 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 blah." And then she had me
the
at home
typical.
saying, "Okay, well, let's get it out of your room and let's take care of it. I'm sorry that you had to see that, but let's take care of it. This is your room."
Right. The typical,
Yeah.
oh, it's just an overactive imagination.
Yeah. And that's what my parents tried to tell me when I was little. And it took until I would say probably when I was a teenager for me to bring it back out. Because my whole life I was told, you weren't hearing people in your room, you weren't seeing people in your room. But in all actuality,
Trust
I
me.
was.
I get that 100%. And
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, I know in the pre-show we were talking about the mimic that we've recently acquired here at the house.
Mhm.
And Morgan, whenever she stays the night here on Fridays, she comes up every other weekend. She stays the weekend because it's a 3-hour drive for her. So she
Oh,
comes up and she spends every other weekend with me, because every weekend, because it's just going to be too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so she will see a dark figure come out of my closet and walks over to my crawl space here, walks back around, and she's seen this thing multiple times. it will come up here to the pillow and then lean over me and stare me in the face.
Oh, that's creepy.
I have not seen it personally.
I don't like that.
She's a what would you call her? Medium.
She's a medium.
Medium.
Mm-hmm.
So has she ever like told you like, hey, something's up, like something's going on, or is it the location or is it you?
Countless times.
So,
I can tell you, Decon, I did not believe in mediums before I met her because I have investigated and I have done things with mediums in the past, and none of them,
dude, I remember,
stood up to my standard. She has made me believe that mediums are a thing.
Ooh, she must be pretty amazing
No,
then.
trust me. I don't say this for many people. If I had to choose someone and I was told, hey, you have to investigate with this medium on a television show, I would turn down that show if they did not invite her because she is the most accurate person I've ever been around.
We're going to have to bring her on the show with you.
So,
I would love to talk to her more.
Was that something that, I don't know if she's ever talked about it, but that's something that she had to develop or that she always have it,
She's always had it.
Okay.
Oh, so amazing.
And her family told her that she was crazy. And so she kind of repressed it. And
the conditioning we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the conditioning. And basically, she started coming out of her shell when we met at the USS Salem. I was there doing a public investigation on the skeptical sailors style. So I was a skeptic on the skeptical sailor side. And then you had the psychic side. With her abilities, she decided not to go with the psychic side. She came to the skeptical sailor side for whatever reason.
Oh, interesting.
Don't know. But when we're walking through the ship, and this is literally how we met, she was telling me, well, I'm picking up on this in this location. Can you tell me anything about that? And I'm like, well, if you want psychic things, you should have went with the other tour.
Yeah.
And that's literally the first thing I said to her. But I was like, but to my knowledge, what you're picking up on, yes, this is correct.
I was going to say, but you're
And
hot,
then,
so.
That aside, I wasn't even looking at that. Like, look, I was so pissed off before I went to that investigation. That wasn't even on my mind. There were some legal things going on. And I was being accused of some shit that I didn't do.
Oh, yeah. That's.
And I got that phone call literally 5 minutes before the investigation.
Oh, that puts a damper on it.
So I was in a bad mood as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going through the ship, and she's asking me all these questions, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I really don't want to answer this, but God damn it, she's right. So I tell her answers, and we get through the event, and then I think it was 2 or 3 days afterwards, I figured out that we were friends on Facebook. I didn't know we were friends on Facebook at this time. And so I figured out we were friends on Facebook. I recognized her photo. And so I sent her a DM and I'm like, hey, curiosity. How much of that shit did you Google before you went on the ship?
That's a valid question, dude. But that's something that's like the first fucking thing that I would assume you would ask a psychic if they're like, da-da-da-da-da. You're like, well, what the fuck?
Did you Google any of this? Yeah. What research?
And she said absolutely nothing. I'm like, well, you're gonna have to prove that to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, like when I first met you, you were, you put out those videos on debunking, and I still always put in the comments, fucking get them, dude, because
don't worry, more are coming. I have 23 in queue.
Oh shit. Those are some of my favorites.
I got some UFO stuff coming. I got some cryptid stuff coming. I got some ghost stuff coming. Don't worry.
Fuck. Oh, damn it.
But so
I think we're gonna need to give Decon 5 minutes to decompress about that.
So after I asked this question and she told me nothing, we started talking, and then we ended up, becoming a couple. And it was then that we decided to develop this style of practice that we do. So once to twice a week, we will practice her abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I will research a location that she has no idea about, and I call her, and we practice that way.
That is so cool, though.
And let me tell you, I don't like the answers I get because it freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, you're basically running Project Stargate.
A few weeks back, I researched Vulture City. And she picked up on the saloon. She picked up on the share. Like.
Where's that located?
Vulture City. I think that's either Arizona or Nevada. I'd have to double check. It's one of the two. It's either Arizona or Nevada.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it was either that, but I thought New Mexico. It could be one of those locations.
It could be New Mexico. It's somewhere out west. Let's just say that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I know that she picked up on the saloon in town. She picked up that there was multiple stories. She thought there was a brothel upstairs, but she couldn't say there was a brothel upstairs. But indeed, there was. Like, how the fuck would you know that without me telling you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I think it's funny that your girlfriend scares you.
She does.
Yeah, you just gotta tell her, like, look here, woman.
Yeah, I tried that. And you know what happened? I mean, nothing, because she doesn't beat me. I mean, she probably could. I'd take it because I don't hit women.
All it takes is a look.
Oh, the look. I know the look.
The look. That's all it takes.
As soon as I get that look, you know what I do? I go downstairs and make myself a snack.
Yeah, probably should.
But that's crazy. That's interesting that you said that, dude, about find the location, give me the details, because that's exactly what they were doing on Operation Stargate.
Right.
They would show people a picture. Yeah. They would show people pictures, and they would say something like, just a picture of a house, okay? What's going on in this house? Who's in this house? And they started to separate the groups because with remote viewing, there's different abilities. There's the people that are able to pick up just what they can see, and then there's the people that can pick up like what they can feel, right? So they started to separate these two groups. So the fact that you're doing those experiments where you're like, this location, what can you tell me? That's so interesting, dude. Did you come up with those did you guys come up with those tests on your own? Did you guys research it? Okay. See, that's smart.
That's literally how we came to the conclusion, because she wanted me to believe that she was a medium. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to give me something to physically make me believe you're a medium. And she was like, well, how about we do this? We'll do blind readings. I said, what are blind readings? She said, you pick out a location.
Yeah.
You do the research. And then once or twice a week, depending on how many locations you pick, we'll practice. And
you're like, all right.
I have no answer for it. But when you look at it from the Project Stargate or Operation Stargate aspect, that's literally what they were doing.
It's the same.
They were doing a remote viewing style thing, and they were trying to use telepathy. And if I'm not mistaken, there were the cases, and I don't know if it's documented or not, where they injected their test subjects with LSD to try and enhance that. And so, I mean, I wish I was a test subject for that. I'm joking, by the way. I don't do LSD.
No, you don't.
But
make it do gay shit.
Sorry, but no, but I know that they injected several of their test subjects with LSD to try and enhance that, I guess you could say, ability. And it didn't work out that well for them.
No, it broke some of them mentally. Because one of the stories was that this person ended up there's a really good book out there. It's called Chaos, and it's what the fuck's the name of that author? You guys can look it up. It's called Chaos, and it's about Charles Manson and LSD and how he was in and out of prison, and they would put him in these mental health facilities and experiment with him. But there was people that they talked about how a couple of his roommates were people that were part of Project Stargate, and they just burned them out. Like, they fried the circuitry. They got them in there, and then they, filled them up with LSD to see what they can see. And then some of the people described that it was almost as if they were being like bombarded with images to the point where they couldn't sleep for days, and it just fried their brain.
Correct.
And they couldn't sleep anymore unless they were drugged. And to me it's like damn, like, there definitely has to be something to it, because like I said, millions of dollars into these kind of projects. And with your woman there, she definitely would have been in Project Stargate, like
Oh,
bring
no
her
doubt.
in. And I couldn't even, and I think that what they were doing was they were trying to see how far someone could see, and they were pushing the limits. Give them LSD, give them cocaine, like give them all these things to just try to jolt them, and they would fry a lot of people because,
Oh yeah.
even people without abilities or without any of those things, LSD will fuck them up. Now
Oh yeah.
imagine,
Those mind altering substances. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that even if you don't have any effects for years, you could have an instant flashback.
yeah,
And yeah, I think that the idea of the project was a great idea. It was pushed in the wrong direction as far as the way they were doing it.
it was weaponized instead of
Yes.
yeah.
Had they went through and actually did like a typical test like James Randi from Florida would have done.
Yeah.
The guy who offered $1 million challenge.
The amazing James Randi. Yeah.
Yes, if you could prove psychic abilities exist, I'll give you $1 million, guy. If they would have taken that aspect, which then again, I think that project didn't start until like the 85. So Project Stargate happened way before that, like
it happened
almost 7 years before that.
Late 60s or early 70s.
Right.
They ramped it up.
Right. So, but if they had that mindset, I think they could have brought in some people that at least would have pegged interest without them having to inject them with drugs or psychedelics to enhance the experience, because they would have brought in people that legitimately think, hey, I have this ability. Well, you have this ability, so prove it. Prove it on paper.
Well, there's only so much LSD you can be injected with before you're essentially lost.
Yeah. Now imagine, I mean,
you can't just keep taking it and expect not to essentially get lost in your own head.
Look, it's like working in the bridge building industry, okay? It'd be fine.
Tom O'Neill is the name. Chaos by Tom O'Neill.
Tom O'Neill. Okay, I have to look that book up.
Yeah, dude, it's called Chaos, Charles Manson and the CIA, the
Good
secret
job.
history of the 60s. So anyway, so with these kind of experiments, dude, what's crazy is like you said, if they would have naturally honed for it, damn, it's hard is once you weaponize somebody, you dehumanize them.
Yes.
And you're trying to see how much you can get out of them, how much. And there was a case where there was a girl, and it's so fucking dark. But there was a case where there was a girl. She might have been 12 or 13. They gave her LSD, and she had a seizure, right? And she said that she thought that she was only out for like 10 minutes, like seizing. She thought she was out of it for 15 years. She said she lived the whole life. And they said, well, what did you see? And they're writing shit down. Like, what did you see? And she's like, well, I was a child. My father was a violent alcoholic. That tells this whole story. Then I was a grown adult, and I decided I'm going to go get help. And this guy, this fucking scientist, they say that he was like, this girl lived my life without me ever saying anything. She kind of tapped into him. She tapped into him and lived his childhood, right? This girl ended up in a mental institution. Eventually, she ended up self-deleting, yeah. So she like lived this trauma and experienced his trauma. So then as a little girl, she was going throughout her years with 30 to 40 years of trauma just mounted onto her, because she lived somebody else's life in 10 minutes.
And she was only 12?
Yeah, she was only 12. And she said that when she was out, they told her, you're only out for 10 minutes, and they're asking her questions. And she says, no, I lived the whole life. I was young. I became a teenager. I became a young adult. I became an adult. I became, an adult in my late 40s, decided to look for help, all these things. And I just couldn't. And I started drinking and I started doing all these things. In 10 minutes, she lived somebody else's life. Eventually, I think it was 3 years later, she ended up killing herself because like the trauma. Imagine taking somebody else's trauma and you live it for yours. And this is
Hell no.
well, and this is what was crazy was the fact that she's saying all these things, and then people are like, "Well, that fucking LSD," and this one. Imagine being that one person, just being.
Here's the
quiet.
thing: could it have been the LSD? I'm pretty sure that had a part to play in it, because if you gave a young girl so much LSD that she started going into seizures, she overdosed.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say she had a drug overdose, and what if she maybe essentially passed during the overdose, and they weren't.
She could have, but there's also that theory out there that people are going through traumatic experiences that are on that brink of life and death. They become what's called a psychic leech, and so they leech onto someone that is within the proximity, and they can actually see what they lived through, what they've been through, and that pain, and they will forever hold that. And so I'm wondering if this would be a curiosity case that could be physically proven, I guess, because we have documentation of an actual psychic leech event.
And fuck, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'll put in the description the name of this case. But the fact that she's describing, a broken home, her being abused, going through life, being, felt worthless, started drinking, and you're listening to this kid tell this story. Everybody else, everybody else, they're saying like, "Fuck, we fried her brain." This poor kid, and you're that scientist saying, "This girl is telling my life story," but and
you have to think about it like this, okay? From my perspective, I guess you could say, whenever you're going through that kind of process, right, and you're in that phase, and I hate it for the girl that I firmly believe she was fed a lethal dosage of LSD.
I do too.
And she overdosed.
Definitely was.
And she leached onto somebody else, right? There's nothing saying that if you have psychic abilities, that your psychic self cannot take on the format of another gender. So maybe she was actually living his life through his eyes as a male.
It gets really good. Okay, this is a part that kind of got me, was the fact that she said, "I couldn't function through my adult life without taking a sip of my flask." She said every 30 minutes, and this guy that's narrating this story said, as she told this story, I was gripping my flask so hard in the pocket she described, by the way, so hard that I was afraid I was gonna dent it. Isn't that fucking crazy?
What's in the left pocket?
She had, I don't remember which pocket, but she was describing, she would take a sip from her flask. Scientist is standing there as everybody's taking notes, and he's gripping that flask that she's talking about so hard to phrase and leave fingerprints on it because she's describing his life. It's fucking dark, and it gives me like anxiety, like thinking about it.
I got goosebumps right now. Listening to it, I've been like, no,
I don't like it.
It's fucking dark. And then, man, and this is one thing I will say about people that call themselves, mediums, or they used to be called seers, and so things like medium, it's like, fuck, like how shitty. So, and I don't mean this to insult anybody. Like, how shitty does your life have to be picking up people's like broken emotions? And if you don't manage it, you carry that yourself. You know what I'm trying to say?
No,
yes,
I do.
It's a shitty way to put it.
No. But what he's trying to say is, what kind of life can you yourself viably live in happiness if you're picking up on other people's destruction?
I don't think I could. I couldn't be.
Would that be a good way to word it, Decon?
Yeah, dude, that's a perfect way to word it. And I would think that there would have to be, if I had those kind of abilities, what I would do weekly is carry like have a cinder block right in the backyard or something with the name trauma on it, and you pick it up and you walk around in a circle and eventually just fucking drop it and realize that this brick isn't yours. You know what I mean?
Imprint the energy, and break the physical.
And then understand, like, this burden is not mine. And you would have to do that to yourself over and over, because it's not just, people think that it's one of those, like, okay, now do me. And then you got to like, blah, 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 blah. No, it's anybody next to you. If you're not careful, you know, you start pulling in those feelings.
Oh, facts. And facts. I can speak for that 100% facts.
And then you just, because even people that don't have like those abilities necessarily, or that they know of, you just sit, sometimes somebody just sits next to you and you start just getting a shitty feeling. You start being overcome with dread, and it's almost like you're picking up, you know,
it's empathy.
It's so dark.
So people who can, I guess you could say, perceive the energy that a person's putting off, it's called empathic. That you can sit down to a person and tell whether or not they're a good person. And
dogs can do that,
and that's kind of like my gift, I guess, because I can tell within a few feet of a person whether or not that's someone that I want to associate with.
Yep.
And if I get close enough, I'm like, don't like the energy, I turn around and I walk off.
Yeah, and you need the discipline too. I mean, the discipline of understanding when you cut somebody off, right?
Yes.
When it's like this person doesn't like, and then you're like, who cares? It's their loss. I'm awesome. You know what I mean? And
I am.
Change.
But dude, it's so dark. I mean, and with your woman there, with her ability, that's gotta be a fucking burden, you know?
I think it's a burden for her more than it is for me, obviously. And I don't know what I can do to help her with it. That's the thing. Like, we'll be sitting there on the phone some nights, and she just randomly starts picking up on things, like, out of the blue.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm picking up on this. I'm picking up on this. And she picked up on my grandfather when I described him to a T.
Huh.
Wow.
And she had never seen a picture of my grandfather before that.
That's amazing.
So, do you think that... And I said, do you think? Like, she could have explained it to you, but do you think that she was picking up your feelings and your descriptions of him, or do you think that maybe he was reaching out? What do you think it is?
He was reaching out.
I think he was reaching out.
Because the exact words that she said, and pretty much sounded like something my grandfather would have said, was, "Hey kid, calm down. You're doing all right."
Okay.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh, what I wouldn't give for somebody to say that to me.
Like, it just astounded me, because, like, literally, that's something my grandfather would have said to me.
Yeah. And where was your grandfather from? That seems like a very old-timey, like, steel mill worker, hardened, like...
My grandfather was a truck driver. He drove long-haul trucking for 67 years.
Hell yeah.
Those type of... So this is... Okay, so...
He was also a Hell's Angel.
Yeah. So Teddy Atlas, right? He talked about how back in the day, like, his father was like that. Back in the day, when you're talking to somebody and you're just speaking, you know, he'd be like, hey, you're speaking in too many words.
Yes.
Like, what are you trying to say? Say it direct. So with something like, hey, kid, you're doing fine, there's so much in that phrase compressed. Yes. And if you grow up with this individual, you know what he's saying. You know exactly.
And it makes sense to me.
It makes complete sense. You know what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much, though.
He was a long-haul trucker for 67 years. As a matter of fact, for 10 years of his tenure, he drove trucks for the WWF.
I love that.
And he met Andre the Giant. He met Hulk Hogan. He met all the big stars from the 80s.
Oh, really meant to be. How cute.
And you're in heaven, Hulk Hogan, but I'm the king of the clouds. Let me tell you something, brother.
He did that whole thing, and then he went to the union trucking, where, you know, it was long haul, but he was a union guy. And he, you know, upon balancing that, he was also part of the Hells Angels.
Okay.
And so the bearded brother sent me that beard oil, the Bad Luck 311. What?
Dude, that's cool.
What?
The beard oil?
Yeah, the beard oil. Have you
Yeah,
seen it?
the one that you have.
Video on it.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
So the bearded brotherhood said that to me.
So do you guys put beard oil like we put in our hair?
Same thing.
Like, do you just kind of...
Same thing, only we don't need the massive amount and we don't need to do the scrubbing. You put a few drops and you comb it in.
And then you comb it. You have to do that because facial hair is very very coarse. So it picks up a lot of bacteria. So by putting oil on it, it kind of keeps that from happening. So it doesn't like pull in.
I did not know that much went into having a beard.
Oh, I didn't either until I started growing it out because I'm going to the beard brawl in Wisconsin in June and I want to grow my beard out.
Yeah, you did tell me that, dude. Fuck,
So
man,
they sent me this, which is
there you go.
Velvet Blue Mod. It's a velvet blueberry vanilla.
Ooh.
I think
this one. Sexy.
Oh, dude, it smells amazing. This one I like is called Bad Luck 311.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So this smells like really sweet tobacco smoke and leather.
Okay, that's
It reminds me of a sex dungeon, and I'm here for it.
What? So what I was gonna say is there was these cigars that were called Titan Phillies. They were like cheap cigars, but Walmart used to sell them. You could get like 10 for like $8.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah,
the Titan Phillies, dude. Those were so smooth, and they just reminded you of like cheap whiskey and cedar.
Yes. You had Titan Phillies with a with a little bottle of Mad Dog 2020, and you were good to go.
Or hey, come on.
No, that's a hangover waiting to happen. That's an instant bottle of regret for anyone watching. Do not go out and buy MD 2020.
Don't drink that.
Or with some Gentleman Jack if you want to just relax.
The last time I drank Mad Dog, I ended up in the middle of a potato field.
Well, I mean, it is
about Mad Dog. It was never even called Mad Dog. No one knows where the image of the dog came from. A lot of people think that it came from because there was never a picture of a dog on it. The actual MD stands for Mogan David. Mogan David is the inventor of the wine. So actually, it's Mogan David 2020.
What's great about that drink is that the large amount of sugar is what really fucks you up.
Yes. But let me tell you, it is an instant bottle of hangover and regret.
Yeah, that's like champagne, dude. Champagne's the same way. It's just all sugar, and it gives you but it's
I can't do it.
Who orders champagne? Is it a motherfucking birthday?
You're making me want a Jack Daniels just to not think about it.
But no, like honestly, Decon, I could see you using the Bad Luck 13. Like you strike me as a leather kind of person.
Dude, I am very leathery. Dude, I don't know, man. It's just as I get older, I just realize that my brother described me. He was like, "You're getting very gruff. You're like a very gruff dude." And I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I'm like,
well,
okay.
I'll tell you what. After the show, if not today, then tomorrow, I'll send you a promo code and you can get 20% off.
Dude, I'll take it. There we go. Damn,
doesn't your brother like not have a beard in any way, shape, or form? Isn't he like a doctor or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so of course you're gonna be gruff compared to him.
Yeah, there's a picture that we're all sitting next to each other, and I just look like the stupid lumberjack of the group. I'm like, look at you.
So look,
don't you have an education?
I will tell this story specifically because we're on this show. So typically, as Decon knows, I keep my hair the same length as I keep my beard. Typically, when I trim my beard, I trim my hair.
Yeah.
But going to the beard brawl, I want to grow this out because if I'm going to be at a beard brawl, I want to fit the bill.
Yeah.
And so there was one time, probably 6 years ago, my son wanted to go out as Buzz Lightyear for Christmas or for Halloween. And so I got a Woody costume. Woody doesn't have a beard.
No.
So I went clean shaven. And I shit you not. I showed up to the daycare so we can go and do the trick-or-treating at the nursing home next stairs. And my girlfriend at the time told me, never shave your beard again. You look like a pedophile.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, that's not a fucking thing you should say when I'm at a daycare.
Yeah, that's
What?
that'll get a lot of attention.
Like, why would
Did
you
they
say
still
that?
allow you to go in?
Just because I'm dressed like Tom Hanks doesn't mean that I am Tom Hanks.
Fair. But I'm like, why would you say that?
Dude,
Daycare of all places.
damn,
That's
dude.
like saying that's like calling
No, but that's literally
know.
how my ex treated me, like 24/7. So I was used to it. But still, you shouldn't say that shit at the
Dude,
daycare.
good
You
riddance
do
is what
a
I
crime
say.
when you walk into a courthouse.
Yeah, no.
You just don't do that.
Just
I'm
good.
like, look, I'm just here dressed up as Woody to grab my son. I want to go and get some candy from.
Yeah.
Well, now that I worded it that way.
Yeah. Well, now that just hop into my blue van. Anyway,
Yeah, now that I worded it that way, I can kind of. I get it.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Bro,
we're not going to continue the conversation.
Yeah, let's finish it. Oh shit, we gotta close out the show. So you got anything coming up, brother?
Oh,
Besides
dude, I've got a lot coming up.
Oh, wait. Let's extend the show for 10 extra minutes, okay? I want to
That's fine.
talk to you. I want to talk to you about your haunted doll.
I mean, as long as you're talking in that voice, I'm good for it. Can I remove my pants?
Wow.
I'm
Go
joking.
ahead.
For a second.
Go
I'm
ahead.
joking, Ash, for the
Give
record.
you guys a moment.
Just leave, please. Just leave me and
Yeah, so what are your questions about Ian? Like,
Okay.
what you got?
Okay, so how long ago did you get him?
5.5 years ago.
What made you go, you know what? That's what I want.
Honestly, it was an accident. He was out in front on a front lawn of a neighbor's of mine that I used to drive home, and I would pass the neighbor every day. The doll was sitting out there.
Yeah.
And
That's weird.
I thought, you know what? My brother's chlorophobic. He is deathly afraid of clowns. I want to get this clown and just kind of fucking position it outside of his bedroom door after he's asleep.
I would hate you.
Welcome to my mindset.
I would seriously pick that thing up and throw it at you.
And that's fair. If you could pick up the case weighs about 30 pounds.
Oh no.
That's how much she weighs.
And that's just the case.
More than that.
So after about 3 weeks of driving by this thing, I stopped and I knocked on the door, and 2 adolescent teenagers answered, male and female. And I said, hey, curiosity, you guys have had this clown doll sitting out here by the road for like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm like, is it a yard decoration? What are you guys doing with it? And I hear this elderly lady yell from the other room, if he wants that godforsaken fucking thing, he can take it.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
That should have been my first clue.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, but never mind.
I would have said no.
So I walked out and I went to pick it up, and I didn't realize the back of the case was open. And so it fell out and it twisted and fell face first into the concrete. Here's the thing. It's porcelain. So if it fell face first onto the concrete, the face should have broken.
Yeah.
It didn't
the face did not break. Its left foot broke.
That's weird. Oh, the left foot.
Okay, that is weird because my mom used to make porcelain dolls. I know how fragile those bitches are. They barely touch concrete. You're gonna get a crack.
Oh, yeah, I got a more wild story for you, which will be included which will be included in the book that's coming, by the way. But I'll give you guys a little bit of an insight here.
A little taste.
So after about, I think it was 2 days of me owning the doll, I had it in the garage. I brought it up on the back porch, and my ex walked on the back porch, and she's like, "What the fuck is that thing doing here?" And I said, well, in my defense, you're the one who told me where it was. So it's kind of here on your own doing.
Yes, take that.
And she didn't want nothing of it. So the clown stayed in the garage. Well, she went out of town with her mother down to Cape Cod in Massachusetts with Jameson. And so my daughter was here for the summer. So we brought the clown doll out of the garage and brought it inside. And we were running applications test on it. So, as you guys know, I know Ash, I know Decon, I wrote the book, Downloading for the Dead, Investigating Paranormal Applications, and I actually go over this in my book. And so, through 3 different applications, we got the name Ian. Not a common name. And 2 of them were spelt out, and one of them was a spirit box app.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh wow.
Not a common name. So we investigated the doll for, I don't know, 3 hours maybe. And then I was like, well, Danny, I'm getting tired. I got to go to bed. So let's just go ahead and leave the doll here on the table, and I'll put it back in the garage in the morning or whatever.
Yeah.
That night I had a nightmare where I was being chased up from the basement by a clown.
Yep. Nope. I would wake up crying.
It gets worse. I wake up in the morning. The nightmare didn't wake me up. I woke up to my alarms. I get up in the morning, and the whole house, by the way, is hardwood floors besides the kitchen. The kitchen is linoleum.
Okay.
But the whole house is hardwood floors. Mind you, I just told you a few minutes ago, if you try to pick up this case, it weighs about 30 to 35 pounds. It was sitting on the dining room table, which is about 4 feet tall.
Okay.
35-pound case. There is no way possible when I got up for work that morning, the doll and the case was face down on the hardwood floor. Didn't hear it fall.
I was gonna say, like, did you hear any sound?
Didn't hear it fall. I didn't. My daughter didn't. There's no fucking way the cat knocked it over.
Yeah.
And the doll was not damaged.
What?
Again, I mean,
How does this porcelain doll keep falling and not get broken?
This is the whole point to this experiment in this book.
What in actual fuck?
so this, damn. So, and we had talked off camera here. You believe that it could be a tulpa?
Yes, but I'm not going to discuss that too much further.
Okay.
Because that is information that we're going to kind of try and withhold for the book.
Okay.
But we do believe that whatever is contained within this doll could be a thought form or a tulpa. But there also is something else attached to it that we're not yet able to explain.
How
Wild.
does Morgan get along with it?
Define get along.
Well, how's the interaction?
As long as she gives him attention, he's good.
But if she doesn't give him attention, does he get mad?
If she does not say hello to him when she comes in the room when she comes to visit, if she walks by the closet where I keep him and she does not say hi, Ian, we have arguments every fucking night. She does that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's interesting because it sounds it sounds like an object that augments or something that projects, right?
It does. And what we've realized is it plays very heavily on people's addictions.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to admit that I'm an alcoholic. I've drank heavily for years. I'm not afraid.
I've become an alcoholic since we started this show.
Yeah. But I'm not afraid to admit it. I've been that way for many years, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that when he's here, I drink way more than what I do when he isn't.
That damn, dude, that's dark.
Oh, that's wild. Are you sure you want him to come back home?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because the way I can't go into that. So you have to wait for the book for that explanation. You have to wait for the book for that explanation. But what I can tell you is when he's not here, I feel like a part of me is missing.
That's what I was gonna say. It's almost like it's a conductor, but it's almost like it projects, emotions, like you said, addictions. It projects addictions. When you say, if somebody doesn't say something, you have more of a disagreeable moments because it's almost like I almost said it's almost like a conductor of emotions, but it's almost like you're the fucking conductor of emotions for this thing.
That is a thought right now. The thought right now, and I'll give you guys an inside exclusive specifically for this podcast.
You heard it first, folks.
The thought is that the thought form that lives within Ian is my own pent up aggression.
Yeah.
And a tulpa is a thought form. It's an energy that is imprinted into an object or an area. And so here's the thing. I didn't choose Ian. Ian chose me. When I picked him up and he fell out face first and broke his left foot, that left an opening within that object for my energy to collect within the object. Does that make sense?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, dude. I didn't even think of that. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
So this is exactly what we think is going on.
You're an enigma. By comparison, I'm so lame.
I am not an enigma. I'm a normal fucking person. I'm just fucking weird. But no, so on top of that, there was something else I was gonna touch on. I can't fucking remember what it was. Like it literally popped in my so when we brought him to the main paranormal horror convention, everyone out there who investigates the paranormal, or anyone who knows anything about the paranormal, knows about Mr. Johnny Zaffis.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good friend of mine. When I brought Ian to the main paranormal horror convention, I got 2 feet in the door, and Johnny called me and said, "Nate, what do you have there?" I said, "Well, it's my object." He said, "Bring it here right now."
He's like, "Give it to me."
Literally forcefully, right now. And I brought it over to him. I sat it on the table, and he looking at it. He's like, "Can I open the case?" I said, "No, sir, you cannot." He said, "Well, why not?" I said, "I won't even touch that doll without putting holy water on my hands. You're not opening the fucking cage. Just look at it." And he said, "What would it take for me to get this doll from you?" And I said, "Nothing, because the doll is not being given up. It's not for sale." And he was like, "Well, what if I offered you a one-time opportunity to come and film a podcast live from my museum in my basement?"
Oh, tempting.
Tempting, but if our theory is correct, if mine and Morgan's theory is correct, and Ian played off of addictions, would collecting haunted objects technically be considered addiction?
We've actually had this conversation many months ago, and I think that's what you were telling me, dude. It's like, okay, this person, collects haunted objects. Damn, how many items does he have now?
Over 1,000.
Damn.
Okay, that's where it's an addiction. That's like almost, because they consider hoarding an addiction. That's almost hoarding.
And he even worded it that way himself in the public speech that I saw him do. He says some people would consider his collection hoarding,
which is an addiction.
So imagine you walking through the door with this object, and immediately a person that collects, and he's like, "I have to have this," augmented, right? Normally somebody has to have something for a little bit, right? For them to kind of like play around with, and then be like, "You know what? I think I want this." For it to be instant is crazy.
No,
what if he's like Gollum from Lord of the Rings?
It was instantaneous. I walked 2 feet. I literally had just gotten my guest speaker lanyard and put it around my neck. And John said, "Nate, here.
Get over here.
What is that? Bring it here."
And I brought it over there, and he's like, "I want this. What's it going to say?"
I guarantee he was playing off of his addiction.
So whenever we were at Maine, I did not leave him at his table, because there was at one point I was like, "Well, hey, I got to go and get to my table, John. I'll talk to you later." He's like, "Oh, well, you can just leave this here with me."
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's coming with me." And so I brought it with me back to my table, and I sat it in front of the Radical, Danny and Lauren Perez, their hearse. We had a total of 65 people stop and look at Ian. And after we told them Ian's backstory, I will be goddamned if those 65 people did not have prior issues with addiction, or if they were in recovery.
Something like that is, if you look into it, something like that is dangerous.
It is. And we had the same thing in Salem, by the way. We had 27 people stop and ask questions, and every single person that stopped, I asked them, "Do you have a history of addiction, or are you in recovery?" And they all said yes, but I was drawn to this object.
Yeah, it's pulls it. Imagine if somebody gets their hands on this and puts it in a fucking casino. You know what I mean?
Which is why it's safer with me.
Yeah.
So, geez, dude, that is so fucking crazy. We're gonna have to for the thumbnail. You have to post a picture of this clown, dude. We have a pic.
Kind of wonder though, because about me,
to the book.
Normally, I'm like your brother. I am terrified of clowns. But when I saw when you posted Ian, I wasn't that scared of him.
No one's scared of him.
That makes me question.
No one's scared of him.
Oh, weird.
He is a very, very, very friendly energy. But
well, that's what addiction is.
Oh, he would play with me hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you look at addictions, I mean, holy shit, like addictions don't come at you and they're like, hey, it comes as gentle, right? Like, hey, just
right.
Like if you're a gambling addict, it's like, hey, what's another hand? Just go ahead.
Oh, come
and there actually was one lady in Salem. Now that you brought up gambling addiction, there was one lady who stopped, and we were talking in Salem, and she was like, well, no, I was really drawn to this object, and we had a good 20-minute conversation. And I'm like, well, from our understanding, from what my girlfriend picked up with her abilities and what I know, we think he plays off of people's addictions, and he kind of enhances, that's the kind of people he attracts. Well, I don't think I have a history with addiction, so that kind of doesn't track. I said, okay, that's fair. I was like, but addiction can be multiple different things. I mean, you can be alcoholic, you could be a pill popper, you could be a gambling addict, you could be a drug user, you could be an alcoholic. And she said, wait, gambling's an addiction? And I said, yes. And she's like, so I buy about $70 in scratch offs a week.
Jeez Louise.
And I'm like, well, that would be considered a gambling addiction.
Jesus.
This is the kind of shit that we just wait for the book.
You know what's what would be interesting is if you can just catch like a history of like where has this doll been and what kind of misfortune what kind of misfortune this thing. Jeez, dude.
If you do it a third time, that's between you and God. Yep, you're done.
It always comes in sets of threes. But no, so I've actually kind of researched that. Like, there's a sticker on the case. I know who made it as far as the artist. And that's it. I don't know when it was made. I don't know what year it was made. I don't know when it was sold. Nothing.
I wonder if there's a way you could research that.
Unless it's in like an independent artist, like it doesn't make it to a store, and it's just an art project, or if it's like you know what I mean?
So I can tell you that there's 375 of the exact same doll out there.
Oh, fuck that.
All made by the same artist, but none of them have the custom case that he is in.
Well, that's interesting. Dude, that's weird.
The case is 100% custom built. The case that he typically came in was a little like just above his height square case. Typical what you would see with a porcelain doll.
What's the material on it?
I'm not sure about the wood type, but I can tell you that I do believe from the smell of it, it's sandalwood.
Okay. It's either sandalwood or cedar, especially if they house
very similar scents.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because typically they believe that things like cedar, sandalwood, there's a reason why
they're binding agents.
Yes, there's a reason why, for example, gunslingers back in the day would have sandalwood handles, is because they believe that by doing that they could bind luck to it. So Lady Luck would follow them. And you wanted to be lucky because you don't want to lose a duel. So that's what they use. They call it the holy or the mystical woods. Yeah, you'll be good, dude. So sandalwood, sandalwood, cedar, all those like a lot of it is scent. A lot of those they're
Right.
kind of seen as like holy types of wood or wood used for incantations. So it's a person that made that case was trying to,
Oh, with full intention.
yeah,
Full
damn.
intention. And I'm going to take that a step further this coming summer because we have plenty of pine trees out back. I'm going to go and collect some pine needles. I'm going to sit them underneath Ian in the case. And I'm
Oh,
also building a psychomantium case for him. So I'm going to build him a case that encompasses him in mirrors to trap him in.
Dude, oh, that's starting.
are you going to keep him in the original case and put that case
Yes.
inside the case? Okay.
Yes, I do not touch him.
With mirrors, dude, that's kind of sketchy also, because all it takes is for another reflective thing to be in front of it that it can bounce off of.
But that's
so-
where the fun comes in.
Back to the you don't touch him. So have you only touched him the one time when he fell out?
Twice.
Oh, wow.
Twice I have touched him. The one time that he fell out, and one time I pulled him out for a podcast, and I had bad luck for a fucking month afterwards.
Did you feel anything physically when you touched him?
It almost made me physically sick.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah, all right, that's interesting.
That makes sense, though.
And mind you, I didn't even touch the doll. I was touching, like, I don't know how to describe. So, you know how you have a coat hanger that you hang your clothes on?
Mm-hmm.
If you buy certain dolls, they come with like a doll hanger. It looks
Yep.
like it's a
Oh,
little,
yeah.
Like a stand. Yep, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
that's
Yeah.
what I was holding on to. I never even physically touched the doll.
What is that made out of? Is that custom or is that just generic?
I think that it looks generic to me. I don't know exactly the material, but it looks pretty generic. It looks pretty standard to me. But I never even touched the doll. That's what I was touching, and almost instantly threw up.
That's insane. That's dude, I wonder if you're a medium.
You know what? Morgan has been telling me that for the last year.
That's nuts.
That
All right, now
she thinks I am.
And you suppress it.
No, I am in denial. There's a difference because I have precognitive dreams. I dream things before they happen.
okay, so foresight,
It's a form of mediumistic abilities.
Mhm.
But do I think I'm a psychic? Do I think I'm a medium? No. What I think I should do is loan decon the doll for like half a year and see what happens with him.
Please do.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll keep him.
Please do.
He's like, "Oh,
He'll grow a beard like me. Dude,
I want to touch this. I really do.
dude.
But no, like,
now,
yeah, I've been told for many years by multiple people that they believe I have mediumistic abilities. I don't believe in them, but I cannot say that I have not dabbled in automatic writing.
okay.
And I'm right-handed. I was actually born left-handed. My school here in New Hampshire, when I was going to elementary school, saw it as a disability to write with your left hand, so they forced me to write with my right hand.
Yeah.
And certain things didn't transfer over, and that's the reason I could do calculus and trigonometry in my head, but I can't do simple math. And yeah, that's a weird thing. Yeah, I can do calculus and trig in my head.
That's mind-blowing.
It's fucking weird. And so when I do automatic writing, whenever I decide to sit down and try and channel, I write with my left hand, not my right hand.
Okay, that's it. Because that would be a
it comes
natural
out-
instinct instead of something that's taught.
Yes,
Mhm.
and it comes out in perfect fucking cursive.
That's interesting. That's something that we gotta test out. That's crazy.
I haven't done it in about 10 years, but I'll be willing to give it another shot.
Dude, do it. I've always been interested in things like automatic writing because I've seen it. I've seen I've read a couple books on it, like scribing boards, old scribing boards, for automatic writing.
I have a new YouTube video coming out very soon that me and Morgan are testing a little board game on. I'll give you guys a little bit of an insight. Hang on.
Better take my pants off for this one.
You
Can
should.
you please keep your clothes on?
Not when Nate's around.
Yeah.
We have
it's
so much
impossible
fun.
now.
People think it's weird.
I'm irresistible.
See what happens if you put Ian in the mix? Be in trouble.
So, check this out.
Ghost can't
Oh.
drop. Oh my god, I love that.
Dude, that's
So hang
cool.
on. Hang on. So they market the Ouija board to players 6 and plus, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
8+ here. I'm just gonna go ahead and rip apart this real quick. I don't need all this. This
Throw it out.
big potato games, you can go fuck yourself. So this is the board, okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like anything spectacular, right? Tell me that this does not look like a planchette.
Okay. Yeah.
You take the marker, you put it into the hole
Yep.
here,
That's what that is.
and you channel, and you allow, quote unquote, the spirit to draw the image that you draw off of these cards.
That is totally a Ouija board.
That's how the Egyptians did it, by the way.
Yes, but is this not a divination tool?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
It is.
That's sorcery.
Did you find that at Toys R Us?
I don't know where Morgan found it. All I know is she brought it here, and I'm like, oh, I've got to do YouTube video on
I'm
this.
gonna see
That-
if that's on Amazon.
That's insane, dude.
I
I
kind of
mean,
want
this
to.
is literally an automatic writing kit.
Yeah, that's what it
That
is. And
have a
it's
friend
weird that they market that, but then again, like I said, the Ouija board, they market that for kids, you know, things like that, like tools of divination. To me, it's so weird that they target the kids, you know.
It's not weird to me. You know why? Because children are more susceptible to be able to accept the experience.
This is what I was gonna say.
First game that
Um,
comes up on Amazon.
What I was gonna say is
First one, huh?
Yes, and it's
What I
only
was-
$16.
what I was gonna say is that you have, you know, these kind of things that are marketed to children, and I wonder how much of this has to do with the government still like keeping this Stargate, you know, open, and they just kind of watch like who's,
You know, it wouldn't shock me.
you
It
know,
wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, you look at AI. You know, you have the you had Operation Stargate that operated from 1977 to 1995, and now you have Project Stargate starting in 2005. And Project Stargate is actually a complete $400 billion overhaul of the AI sector. So when you think about it logically, going back to our original topic, could Charlie Kirk and whatever that Owens chick name is, I can't remember her first name.
Candace.
But
Yeah.
could they have been involved in it, considering the fact that the whole Project Stargate that's going on now is funded by the Trump administration, SoftBank, and 3 other companies. Considering the fact of how close Charlie Kirk was to Donald Trump, I would not find it outside of the realm of plausibility that
Yeah.
he did not have some kind of say in said project.
Same.
I like it. We're gonna have you talk shit to the Russians. You're gonna call them gay, and when they say who's saying, I'll be like, "Wow, you're gay." You know, like no, it's crazy because you know.
You do that last part one.
Huh?
You can't do that without warning.
No, but what's interesting is these are things that people still look into secretly, and if you don't know what you're looking at, you know, wow, he's gay. So if you don't know what you're looking at, you know, you will miss it, right?
Right.
Because it's hidden in plain sight, you know. And it's
Oh
not
my
fuck. We're kind of
God.
going over our time here, so dude, we gotta have you back soon. This is crazy, dude. You're always a good
Dude,
time,
look,
man. Fucking
I
definitely
want
text
to
me.
have both. I want to have both of you on my show.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds like a plan.
I'm down.
I think I'm booked through I think I'm booked through July. But I'll reach out to you guys with some dates in August and October. I want to have both of you come on my show.
I'm down.
All right, that'd be cool.
I want to
plan
push. I
is
want to
until
push you
that
guys' stuff. Because let me tell you, Decon, we've been friends for so long, brother. I love your show, and it deserves more recognition.
No, it doesn't. This show fucking sucks.
You know what? Does it though? Do the guests have a good time?
All the time.
Then does
Exactly.
it really suck?
Yeah.
Isn't that the point?
Ew.
For
I'm
your
just-
guests to have a good time?
But really quick, before I forget, the floating cup. Whoa, where's it going? Whoa.
Why are you like this?
I don't know. But we got to get our sponsors out of the way. And then we gotta close out the show. So this episode was brought to you by Loot by Lottie. You guys want to get all your magical needs, all your witch needs, head on over to Loot by Lottie, type in the promo code Nightmare and get 15% off anything over $30. She's got jewelry, she's got beginner witch boxes, she's got stuff for your craft if you're an experienced witch, she's got stuff to aid you. It's all great shit. So Loot by Lottie, promo code Nightmare. Okay. Also brought to you by Sean Burris, the Ghost Man from Extreme Paranormal, a great friend of the show. So check him out in Groceries and Ghosts at Shadow Nation Podcast on YouTube. What?
That poor man, and you trying to sound like him every
That's what he sounds like. Also brought to you by Nathaniel Elwell in his book, Downloading Paranormal Applications for All Your Needs When You're Home Alone with a Glass of Wine or Mad Dog 20. So check it out.
The Mad Dog. Don't go with the Mad Dog.
Get a wicked hangover. So check them out. Also by Render the Darkness. Check them out on YouTube. Great couple of gals. Always fun. And also buy our stuff. So T Public, check out our art. We got mugs, we got shirts, we got hoodies, we got all your amazing needs. You know, we got stickers. Put a sticker on a sticker, put a sticker on a dead hooker. I don't care. Just get it.
I would do that.
Dead hooker?
Yes.
I would so do that. Now, never mind. It's a question for after the show.
We can make some really good pasties out of our stickers.
Yeah, with my face on it. So that's it, guys. And remember to always look both ways, especially if you find yourselves on Nightmare Road.
Okay, bye.